This is a Briot Evolution tracer and blocker, and it's attached to our Briot Attitude finishing edging machine. Here we make a pair of glasses. You can either take a picture. It is an optical tracer, which means it does not need a physical frame to it. It just takes a picture. You can take a picture of just the demo lens. You can take a picture of the frame or of a pattern to make a rimless. This one would be a rimless, and this one would be to actually do the pinpoints and trace the frame. So before we begin, we have to put in our job number, and I'm going to pick my initials and job number 27, just because nothing in particular. You can put the date, you can put whatever you want on it. Okay. Next, we have to draw a horizontal demarcation to ensure that our lenses come out on axis and it does not come out crooked. So you can either do it right side up or upside down. That's up to you. I also like to always do the right eye so that I don't have to think about the lenses being inverted or coming out upside down. You need this. This can be turned so that, as you notice, if you notice the level, that's too low. You want to get it as close as possible to the center, to the datum center, the datum line, okay? So I'm going to hold the middle, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my lines, right and left, just in case. I may only use the right eye, but just in case. Then I go ahead and pop it out. Remember, I'm pushing back to front. And I'm now ready. I have my job number, and I have my lens horizontal axis marked. And now I'm going to take an optical picture. So I press this button here, and if you notice, there's a light, and it's thinking. And then all of a sudden you get the picture. Now what you want to do, you no longer need this lens in here. Just take it out to make sure you don't confuse yourself later. Now you have these three areas where you can actually move it if you have to, or just move it up this way. So if you notice, I want to make sure I'm as good and close to that black line as possible so that my horizontal axis comes out correct. Once that's perfect, I pressed this check mark. If you needed to change sizes and all of that, then this machine does a lot of things, but right now all we're going to do is trace this lens. Next, you put in the bridge. After you measure it with a ruler, and not just read it, after you measure it with a ruler, you put in your measurement and you press OK. Then you have the option to pick metal, plastic, or a lens pattern, and you also have the option to invert it. So we're going to pick a plastic frame. So you see this little arrow brings it back and forth, picking plastic. Then the next thing you want to do, really important, is compare. You can pop out the other lens if it's easier for you so you don't get any glare. You want to compare. Does that look the same? Is it the same shape? Okay, you want to make sure so you don't get inverted again, right for left or left for right. You also have the availability of putting base curves, lens curvature, panto. So you can do a lot with this instrument, all right? Next, you swipe on over and you go ahead and you put in your monocular PDs, minus 32/32, but this would give you the opportunity to press right and left if they were different, okay? Here you also see the base curve. You can change that. This would be the moment in time if it's a very high curve. Here you also have the opportunity of putting in the OC. If you measured the patient's OC, this is where you would press the button and put in the numbers, okay? So once you're ready to begin, you click it, and it gives you the datum center in yellow, the original lens is in yellow, and the green marks for the decentration. Okay, so you have to have blocked your lenses, which is okay. We're going to do it together real quickly here. Okay, so you have your three dots, all right, and then right here. Okay, so once you have your three dots from the lensometer, your spotting, then you would go ahead, put in one of these. You can use one or the other depending on the blank size, okay? And you would notice how sensitive it is. It picks up all your dirtiness, all the lint. So it's sometimes kind of difficult. So I do know that it's this big spot here because it makes it bigger. it magnifies it, and then that is my decentration. If you put it on the yellow, it's going to be off. Okay, so then once you do that, then you would prepare your block. There's different kinds of blocks with this edger. So you have the large and the small round one, and you also have the half eye for readers. So in this particular case, you want to pick the block that gives the most coverage. So we're going to pick the larger one, okay? And then we are also going to use our lead pads. Being careful not to touch the sticky portion of the lead pad like always, so that you don't have the problem of it falling off. I'm going to leave it on for a minute. And it has a little bump. The little bump goes towards the top. It's kind of a little bit of magnetized. Now the trick with this is that once you start flipping, you cannot let go of it, okay? So you're gonna bring the arm in to not release it. Then you're gonna turn it down and then press. And then it comes off. And now your lens is blocked. Now you will also notice the little circle. Okay, notice how I'm gonna put my finger. See that hole? There we go. See that hole? That's your center. If you get a ruler to the red dot, that'll give you the amount of decentration. See right there? So from the center hole to the red dot is the decentration. Now you select on here the correct size, the minimum blank size. This instrument is very precise. So you want to make sure you can either use your fingers, okay, or you can use the numbers. That's too big. Our blank is about a 70. Then you press the check mark and it's over. Then you come here and you do the left eye. Again, let me spot it. So once you spot your lens, again, you have your 3 dots on your left, okay? And the green, again, would be the decentered with the patient's PD, so you don't use the yellow. And here you have a better and clearer picture, okay? So the bigger the dot, the more room for error. So you want to try to make the dots as small as possible, because if you look at the size of that dot, I can really be 2 to 3 millimeters off. So when you use a lensometer, try to make the dots as small as possible. Again, we are going to use the larger block. And we need a lead pad. So you want to try not to touch the lead pad's stickiness part, so we don't take that off. And the little bump goes toward the top. There's a little bump right where my... And it goes towards the, oops, and it goes towards the top. And it only fits one way, guys. It doesn't go in any other way. Okay. So remember, do not release the arm. Once you go in, you can't bring it back out. If not, you got to start the process over. And then you got your decentration again. You can literally grab a ruler and look at the decentration. Oh, there we go. You can see a better white background. Then you come over here. Bam. And perfect. You are now ready for the edging process.